All right, all right. Welcome back. How you guys doing? I hope you had a nice Thanksgiving and a nice weekend. Let's get started really quickly. It's 2:49, so let's see. First of all, you guys should all be able to hear me, right? I hope so. Um, I think I'm able to fix this craziness with the mics and the computers and synchronizing, getting better at it slowly. All right, so um, let's take a look at the equal weighted S&P, and it's starting to break down from this trend line right in there. Okay, so this is wave three. It doesn't mean that this is going to start to fall apart, but this is the beginning of something that you want to pay attention to because it might start to fall apart. All right, and then if this goes, and then you end up with a structure like, oh, come on, and then you end up, oh, come on. All right, let's try that again. All right, so then if you end up with a structure like this, obviously it's a rising wedge, and then you would look for downside. So for some reason the paint won't let me do it, so let's do it like that. If you end up with something like that, okay, structure's pointing up, then this starts to point down, and you get the picture. But we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Equal weighted dividend also breaking down. All right, we can also look at it this way. Okay, starting to break down. The VIX popped a little bit today, came right back down. New York Stock Exchange, same thing, right? You start seeing the theme of the market, right? That there's breakdowns from the um, rising wave three. Okay, same thing with Dow, S&P, same thing. Nasdaq is still inside the structure. All right, it did break the structure as we expected. We don't know if that's going to hold, right? So if it's pointing up, like I always say, look for the next move down. But it's still within the context of this bigger structure in here. So could this be a break test go? Possibly, because for today, the market leader is Nasdaq. It's flat for the day, while the small caps are down almost 2%. S&P is down 0.6%. Transportation down 2%. And the fags are down 1%. All right. So I'm thinking that this is probably going to, um, oops, probably going to start to reverse at some point here towards the end. And you can see it here. All right. You can move it out. Doesn't matter. Right. But this is a very tight, tight, tight move up, right? Tight, 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 tight. And then this usually resolves to the downside. Uh, Let me draw it out properly. Okay. Very tight. I'm going to draw it like this because I think this is more correct. This is going to go lower. How much lower, I don't know, but this is going to break. I would say this is a structure below structure. Okay. All right. So let's continue. Small caps. Okay. Same story. Breaking down. Right? That's the message of the market, right? Now, this is what we call a holiday reversal. So they kind of buy it up into the holiday. And then, when all the big guys come back to work on Monday, they sell it off and then decide what they want to do. So this could be just one of those holiday reversal days where they kind of sell it off a little bit because it got a little too ahead of itself, and then they make a decision as to what they want to do. So we're going to find out what that is in the next couple of days. But for now, trend lines are breaking. Transportation, same story. Right. Fangs, the fangs, the big mamas. Big mamas are still in a bear flag. Why can I not move this? There we go. All right, point of control is somewhere around 4,500. It's at 5,700 right now. It's a bear flag, clearly. If the bear flag goes, it breaks the bigger structure, and then down we go. Hello, Alessandro. ¿Qué pasa? Um, World Stock Market Index is the one that's holding up very well, so that's good. The Jets, a little bit of a pullback. Okay, still at support. Right? The bias is to the upside so long as it's above the trend line. But when the rest of the market is breaking down, then you can expect that this is going to follow suit. All right. Let's go to China. China had a very big update and reversed. So again, pay attention to these small little subtleties, right? You have the big structure; it's already defined, it's good to go, and it didn't have enough strength to break the longer-term trend line, nor did it have enough strength to come all the way to the top of this trend line up here, right? This one right there. So that's an indication of weakness. It's a subtle, small little piece of evidence, but look at the reversal. It's very big. Again, we're going to wait for this to break down. At some point, it's going to correct. I don't know when, but at some point, this will resolve to the downside. We should actually mark it, even though it should be obvious to you guys now. I'm talking about the new guys. All right, this is going to resolve to the downside at some point. All right. So we got the subtlety, we got the reversal, we got the structure in play. Just like back here, right? This, let me put this correctly. I hate when these line moves. See that? See that little small little subtlety? It didn't have enough selling strength to come all the way to the bottom of the trend line and then bounced. Right? It's the same thing at the top now. So let's take a look at the fangs of China, right? Starting to weaken. Emerging markets still holding up good, right? But again, the vast majority of emerging markets is China. Right, same thing. Japan. Remember that the government, their central bank, is buying the ETF. Yes. All right. Way above. Still in this rising F flag. Okay. Uh, Looking good. Again, Japan is doing far better than everybody else. Their exports improved a little bit, still negative, but it has improved as of late. So that's good for them. Australia broke down, same story as the rest of the market. Nifty 50 still holding up. All right, kind of high basing. I would say this is a rising F flag. All right. There you go. All right, so it's still holding up. Cosby, a little bit of a pullback. I would say this is a high base testing the previous high. All right, this could be a double top. And this could be it for wave 3 up. So this is a 1, this is a 2, this is a 3, and it could stall out here and then start going back down. We're not there yet, but Europe is surprisingly doing really good. It broke out, holding above now for a couple days. That's good. Um, Germany tried to pop out, came back at the structure. We can expand it a little bit now. All right, it's still in a rising F flag. UK broke down. All right, so we expected that. Remember that when you're testing the previous high, it can go just before, just at it, or just above, and then start to reverse back down. This one so far seems to be just prior. Okay. Uh, Denmark again try to pop out, right? Came right back down now. Let's see here. The BRICS. We haven't talked about these. I've added these because I think when the dollar weakens, remember that's good for emerging markets. So we should see continued growth uh, in the price of the BRICS. This could break out. It's a little bit steep, a little bit. Yep, a little bit. Might need to correct, but we're going to keep an eye on them. Taiwan, very nice. Still holding. Brazil, tested the previous high. For now, I don't want to say this is going to be a reversal. This is a triple top in this smaller uh, structure here. Uh, Again, we wanted to push out of here to complete that, 1, 2, 3 up, and then we can define it. And of course, it's pointing up, so the next move is going to be down, right? Again, this is part of the bricks. Let's skip that for now. It's the same thing. Saudi continues to push higher as oil rises. We get that. Let's talk about oil a little bit. Oil broke down. Still trying to hold up here. I think this may be a bull flag. All right. With the dollar weakening, at some point, it's going to be good for oil. Right. So I'm not convinced that this is probably going to sell unless everything starts to sell. Right. All right. My favorite, Bitcoin. Yeah. What happened? Everybody was crying. Look at Bitcoin, it's down. Oh, I told you, Bitcoin is crap. You should sell it. It came down 16%. Everybody was freaking all over Twitter, all over social media. It's bullshit. It's this, it's that. Yeah, well, what did I say in the previous video I made on Thanksgiving? This is nothing. Don't worry about it. So now what? Well, double top on a small time frame, testing the previous high, right? Actually broke it, but tested the previous high. So we can still see that pullback. Again, I would be in the camp of reducing the size. If you already reduced, let it go. But if you didn't, I would probably reduce here. Okay. This doesn't need to correct. Right. This does need to correct. And then we'll see it go back up. All right. But again, it's these people. Oh, Bitcoin is down. Crazy. All right, I had a question about the smaller Ethereums, Litecoins, and so forth. Look, they're the same sector. Okay. Um, I'll occasionally talk about them. I don't have a problem with that. But I really don't want to get people to start thinking that, well, I shouldn't buy Bitcoin. I think this one is better and that one is better because you're going to be chasing your tail. All right. Think of these like small caps. Small caps, they're going to sometimes outperform very much so and then fall very much so. Okay. So just, I don't want to really talk about them. If there's a nice setup, I will, but just in my view, just stay away from these things. All right. We did say this was going to be a wave three coming at some point, right? We had a little hut formation here that appeared to be ready to go down, all right? Kind of scared me a little bit. And eventually we did get to wave three, right? So now we have a 1, 2, 3. It is in a wave three. Very good. Let's see how high it goes. Eventually, if it comes up to here, right, you'll get a pullback and then you're going to look for the upside. All right, so that's why I have this arrow up here. First, we need to test the previous high, get a pullback, see what the structure looks like. All right, and then we'll go from there. Litecoin broke out. We were waiting for the breakout all the way back here. Didn't happen. Happened here. That's fine. That's okay. But it did break. Right. Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of this. All right. So what it looks like now, right, is a break test go. So he broke, he pulled back, tried to test, didn't even make it to the test. And we're going to look for further upside. All right. A ripple. Woo-wee. Fuckery. right? This is a fuckery move where it broke down. 1, 2, 3, broke down, built a structure, should have resolved to the downside, and boom! The fuckery moves straight up. Everybody short squeezed, and off to the moon we go. Now remember, this used to look like this. Okay, broke out, came back into structure, right? Failed moves comes fast moves in the opposite direction. Bottomed out when it tested the previous low. Okay, test the previous low, and boom, boom, off we go. Gold, 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 gold. I'm gonna start thinking that this is going to pop at some point. Same thing, the dollar keeps falling. It's below that 92 level. There's a lot of weakness in the dollar. Some people were like, "Oh, the dollar bears, ho ho ho, dollar's king." Woo woo woo. Yeah, well, it's going lower, and you'll see that here in a moment. But again, just like oil, I think gold eventually is going to rally. Okay, this is starting to look like a very nice 1, 2, 3. Let me draw it out. It's a bull flag. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then it's going to go wee straight up, and the dollar goes down. Doesn't have to do it, but that's what it looks like. That's what it appears to be doing. Forget about silver. Let's look at GDX for a second. Right. For me, GDX, these things, people ask for it, but I don't like them. Why do I have to waste my time with gold miners? Forget about the gold miners, right? It broke out, test it, back up. It's not at all-time highs. Gold is. Stick with gold. Don't complicate your life, right? Same thing, but this one performs a lot worse. This one has to actually produce revenue and income and profits and whatever. All right, let's continue here. Let's take a look at commodities. Oh, wait, real estate. Real estate. Huh? All this bullishness in real estate, everything is going up, right? Asset price inflation, but the index fund is not doing so good. And that's probably because it has a lot of brick and mortar retail sales in this ETF. So, um, not doing much. Not doing much. Commodities, a little bit of a pullback. Okay. But they're really kicking ass. Again, they're in a wave 3. We got to see where it ends. Palladium, right, still in that rising wedgie looking thing. Copper really kicking ass, pulling back a little bit today. Base metals to the moon. Uh, Agriculture kicking ass. Let's see here. Let me go out to the daily. A little bit of a pullback here in precious metals, right? Just like gold. And again, you can see it. It's a 1, 2, 3, right? This is ending. So we're going to see a reversal here at some point. Commodities overall are bullish. DBC, okay. Sugarcane, little bit pullback here. Again, we expect this one to correct at some point. Corn, same thing. Wheat already broke, and that's what we're talking about, right? You're going to get that 1, 2, 3 up, and then it's going to start to correct. So for now, the way I would look at it is sideways. Okay, what we want to happen is to build some pressure somewhere in here and then push higher. Steel, all right, doing good. Soybeans really kicking ass. All right, broke out. Dollar, dollar broke. Dollar broke. Trying to hold on here to that 92 level. All right, trying to hold on there, but it broke. All right. Again, look at the special drawing rights of the IMF versus the dollar. Obviously, they're doing a lot better. The dollar Japan, at some point, is going to correct. Okay, at some point. Not yet. Euro, getting ready to break out. That's what we've been talking about. We've been waiting for this for a while. Okay. Came up, double bottomed, came back up, pulled back a little bit today. At some point, as the dollar weakens, the euro will break that 120 area. And then guess what? Off to the moon we go. All right. Pound, a little higher today. We're still waiting for this one to break out. Inverse head and shoulder. US dollar, Turkish lira, skip that. Ruble falling. I'm sorry. The dollar's falling against the ruble. USD CAD, double bottom here. We expect this one to continue lower. Australian dollar pushing nicely. New Zealand dollar going incredibly bullish. That's what happens, right? When these things are going to have a very nice long run back to the upside, they're going to be doing this kind of price action where they break incredibly bullish and everybody's chasing. What else? What else? What else? Where was I? Ah, there I was. US dollar, Mexican peso. Dollar's falling against the peso. We got a little bear flag in the Chinese yuan. Dollar Chinese yuan. We're waiting for this to break. There it is. To the downside for one more down. Euro index. Double top. All right, let's talk a little bit about bonds. Pulling back down. Structure above a structure. Right there. Let's see what this is going to do. All right, it's still relatively to the high end. And when this happens, you know, central banks start to panic. They're going to want to QE some more, right? Now, I posted on Twitter this chart. This is all loans and lease, bank credit, and commercial banks. Remember, when you're trying to recover the economy, you need as much moolah as you can possibly get. So let's go percentage change from a year ago. And what you're going to see is, let me bring this a little closer. All right, what you're going to see right here is that, you know, they really popped it up in the beginning and then it came right back down. So now we're somewhere like, I would say, an average. And that's not good if you're trying to recuperate the economy, right? You want more loans and leases, right? You want more of that. And again, this is going to start to, you know, weaken the economy. Remember, we're in an MMT world. Everybody, you got to keep printing. You can't stop. You got to keep going, right? So that's not good for the markets, right? If you're not getting those loans and leases, those dollars, those free dollars, you're not getting that QE, that interest rate is starting to rise. Uh, Not good. Not good when unemployment is still way below where it's supposed to be. 57%. 57%. That's these are levels that we had back in the 70s and 60s and 50s. So this is catastrophic. All right. 20-year bond pushing up, 30-year bond pushing higher, aggregate bonds are pushing higher, junk bonds pushing higher. Remember, when these bonds go higher, the interest rate falls. Okay. One second, let me have my sip of coffee. All right, how about tips versus TLT? Not very bullish. If there was going to be inflation in the economy, in the functional economy, then what you would see is that the tips would be really pushing higher. People will be buying tips over TLT. They have been since April. It's been pushing up a little bit. But look at the structure. It's bearish, right? So we're going to expect at some point for tips to underperform the 20-year bond. Right here, this one. Okay. So that's deflationary. And when you're seeing commercial loans coming back down to earth, When you're seeing that, deficits, they're not really increasing. There's no stimulus announced. When you're seeing that the uh, quantitative easing is not really pushing up, it's pushing, but not a lot. Right? That's not good for what they're trying to achieve. Banks in Europe doing really good. Wave three up. One, two, three. Emerging market currency fund pushing higher. XOP, a little bit of a pullback. That's ExxonMobil. Financials in the U.S. in a wave three. Again, this one seems to have almost broken, if not has broken. And it has broken today, along with the rest of the market. Banking ETF is still holding up. This is pure banking. Okay, still doing all right. Biotech, very nice little breakout. This could really go. Okay, so again, compass, one, two, three. Okay, little double top, got a little bit of a pullback. We can take the double top off now. Comes back up, breaking the structure. If this breaks, this is going to break as well. Off to the moon we go. So biotechs are a good place to be right now. Let me get rid of this. For obvious reasons, huh? You would think it would be much higher. Uh, Water needs to correct, but on a correction, I think it's going to be really good. Hotels, double topped and also breaking down. Hotels are starting to underperform um, airlines. Apple broke out. Okay. Now remember, this is a leading indicator, and I think I have that here somewhere. Let me bring it up real quick. NDX and Apple. All right, here we are. Okay. So we said this is a leading indicator. It started to break down. Clearly, you can see that Apple has been going relatively flat while the Nasdaq has been rising. Same thing happened back here, right? What happened? Eventually, the market gave way. So a little bit of a pop today, which is good. It's okay, right? But uh, again, if it doesn't really start to take off, look for this to start to come down. Amazon. Oops, wrong one. Amazon. Still in a wedge. Microsoft. Broke out, pulling back. Facebook. Broke out, holding. Netflix. Holding. Google. Broke out, came back into structure, not good. Nvidia. Holding. Tesla. Pulling back a little bit after hitting 600. Airlines. Not much there. American Airlines pulled back, pulling back now. Uh, Southwest, not doing a whole hell of a lot. Alaska, same. JetBlue, same. Spirit, didn't even get to the previous high. Allegiant, doing better than most. Hawaiian Airlines, not much. Skyway, nothing. Ryanair, just holding. EasyJet, Flag, Flag to yeah, 1, 2, 3 up. Right. 1, 2, 3 up. Right. So that's okay for now. Copa, China Eastern Airlines, American. Okay, skip these. All right. So we see parts of the uh, economy in the West that they're breaking trend lines. And then you got Asia, right? And you got the Middle East. They're doing okay, right? They're pushing higher. They're okay. They're holding. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see what's going to happen here uh, in the next couple of days. Let me bring this down. All right. So we got that little blow off top here, right in here. Okay, broke down, tight, 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 broke out. Now it's starting to weaken. It's now 320. Um, let's see how this is going to perform. Again, going into the close, I think this is going to sell off a little bit. All right, we're going to look for that next move down. Um, this is a very short time frame. Okay, so it came up against the resistance. Megaphone looking structure, right? Megaphone. So let's see. Let's see how this is going to perform. So let's see what the earnings yield is for today. 2.73. Not much of a change. Let's look at the market internals. All right, technology is leading, healthcare is leading, consumer discretionary. This is looking bullish. This is looking the way it's supposed to look, right? What's lagging? Energy, financial, utilities. This is the way it should look. So that's good. Let's look at the last 5 days. Energy, financials, information technology, laggards, real estate, utilities, consumer. Improving a little bit. Not bad. A little bit of an improvement for the bulls. It's starting to right size. TSA, let's look at the numbers. 1.176. Yeah, a lot better, right? This is the first time I think we hit 1.1 million. But again, that's compared to last year, which was 2.8. All right, you gotta always compare it to the previous year. Again, airlines are weak. Airlines are weak. They're very weak. All right. S&P on a small time frame, not much. Kind of megaphone-ish, which is okay. I mean, it's not too bad because if you're a bull, right, you get the 1, 2, 3. It pops out, you get a 1, 2, 3. Possibly pops out again, you get a 1, 2, 3. Right, and that's how a healthy bull market looks. Okay, but it has broken the trend line, so keep that in mind. Small caps, breakout, tried again, failed. Uh, Again, it broke the bigger structure here, so we need some more info. Transportation is weak. Right. Okay. Again, my overall bias is sideways to down. Right. Economy sucks. So we are stuck in this range right in here with the double top. Right. It's just kind of going crazy. Goes up and then boom, and we'll see what happens from there. All right. Starting to break down. Just hold on 1 second, please. All right. Sorry, 1 second. There it is. Okay, so we'll see how this is going to end up. Um, I wanted to talk a little bit about, the a little bit about MMT, and uh, I found this very funny, by the way. Poor Peter Schiff, they're always shitting on him. The guy can't stop being wrong. Eh, where was it? There it is. Okay. So if all assets equal liabilities, then the total amount of wealth in the world is exactly zero, right? Is that true? Of course not. But this is the way MMT thinks. They think that everything is a spreadsheet, and all assets equals liability. Everything is zero, and then there's no wealth and incubator stuff, right? Incubator economists think like this. It's crap. Um, Remember, price is one thing and value is another. You cannot multiply dollars uh, and think you're going to multiply wealth. It doesn't work like that. The only reason that you have value in a currency is because you have that wealth. You got that wealth backing it up. It's kind of like taking a home loan, right? Um, as long as your home has value, you'll get more and more dollars. But when you don't, when that value runs out, when that wealth runs out, well, you're fucked. So you bulls out there, you're saying, well, forget about the economy. I just want what's the price action going to be? What's the trade? What's the trade? Look, it's going up. Yeah, but you're saying that the government is going to do it the right way, uh, that they're going to print, and then they're going to cut off austerity. They're going to start to be austere uh, when there's inflation, and it doesn't work like that. Honestly, it just doesn't. You can't multiply wealth by dividing it into little digits and little dollar bills. It just doesn't work like that. It's hard work. It's innovation. It's efficiency. It's productivity. That's what creates wealth. That's what values a currency. It's not the act of printing. It's not saying, well, I'm printing for the people. Well, that's great, but Venezuela tried that shit, and 146 other countries tried that. Didn't work. There's a reason. Because the dollars that you can print is not going to create productivity. And all this nonsense of supply side economics, demand, demand side economics, supply sucks, demand is good. They're equally as bad. Equally as bad. Okay? Just equally as bad. And if you're asking why is it equally as bad, the answer is very simple. You have to look at the profit right here. This is why. No matter how much money you pump into the household income, they will just save it and it will become profit savings, and then it will go into the stock prices, and then stock prices are going to do really, really good while the economy is falling apart. It doesn't work. I'm not saying we shouldn't print right now. I'm not saying we shouldn't have stimulus bills. Not what I'm saying. You should. All right, there it goes. All right, we talked about this one for a while. All right, there it goes. Bye bye. Right back down. All right. Again, this is bare knuckle charting, right? It's telling you what the probability is going to be. We were just talking about this literally 9 minutes ago. Probability. Listen to the message of the market. And you should do this, if you're trading and investing and you're into this, you should always take a look at the entire market and see what it's telling you and listen to the message of the market. Where does it stop? What do you mean, price? Duncan, my man. Oh, I don't know. Once a wave starts, you don't know. Um, Remember, you see this wave? You don't know where it's going to end, nor do you know where this is going to end, right? Waves, you have the potential, right? Reversal areas slash pause, which are previous highs. Okay. How far and how deep they go, I don't know. I can't tell you. I wish I could develop something that could tell me that. But look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is that if it holds up here, that's going to be very bullish because look, it didn't even make it to the bottom. So that's a big ass gap right there. We'll talk about POC in a minute. The break test kind of go would suggest that you're going to come near the previous low within the structure. That's what it suggests. Okay. It's still bullish so long as it remains in this area here, right? So if you're a bull, you want to take it to the long side, right down here somewhere. Don't be a dick for a tick, okay? But if you're a bear, what you're waiting for is for a price to come down, build some kind of pressure, and then watch it go. All right. Now, if we're looking at the POC, let me do it real quick. Can you guess? Can you give me a number? Where do you think it is? About 12,000? Yeah. It's oh 12. 11,992. POC. Right. Remember, this is good for show and tell, but you should be able to tell where POC is. That's why I won't necessarily use it. I'll use it on very small time frames. I'll use it when there's a lot of very good, very close, good. Um, I'll use it in that manner. Okay. How about we look from the bottom? Right. We'll put a couple of POCs here. Right. So from the previous low, POC is again 12. If we do it from the previous high, it's about the same. If we do it from the previous low, previous low, about the same. If you go from the previous high, it's all the way down here. 11,440. 11,440. Okay. So if we break this, remember, if we break this trend line where all the POCs seem to agree, okay, then we can expect 11,440 to be hit. All right. Good question. There we go. All right. So 334. Let's see what this thing does. Now, my hunch is that this will eventually come down in after hours, something like this. I mean, more volatile, but this will continue lower. If it breaks, you're going to get one more up, and it should touch the top or just before it, and then start to come back down. We saw this price action on a bigger time frame. Let's go back here. Right? Broke out, came back down. This should have fell apart. It didn't do it. Even if you expand it, still didn't do it. Here's another one. Okay. Broke. This should have resolved to the downside, just like this one. Didn't do it. Keeps going. What does that tell you? What does that tell you when it does that? That it's in a particle move. Okay. There's no waves, and there's going to be a lot more bullishness when it starts doing these kind of actions. So if this, again, if this does not continue to fall apart, then you know that you're probably in a particle market. Remember, when price is not doing what you expect it to do, something is wrong. And that's something more likely than not is going to be because you're in a particle market and it won't wave, too much buying, off to the moon it goes. Now, if you think about it, Yellen was a central banker. She's going to be the next Treasury. And then you got Powell and whoever else is going to be in there. And more likely than not, these two people are going to agree on fiscal and monetary QE and uh, lending facilities and all that bullshit at some point in the future to try to stimulate, quote unquote, the economy. So that's coming. We kind of know that. Uh, but between now and then, and who agrees to what, and blah, 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 is a whole new, different kind of animal. Back in, I guess it was September, I said, if anybody thinks we're going to get a stimulus, I think it's going to be difficult because the Democrats are not going to want Trump to benefit from the stimulus. And then when they held out long enough, then Trump is like, fuck you, I'm not going to do it for Biden. And we ended up where we are. So I think something similar will happen. It's going to be a while before we get some money. And that's why, again, we're in a sideways market. And God forbid everything starts to fall apart, they'll make up their minds really quickly. Believe me. They're going to be like stimulus this and stimulus that and more paychecks. Because at the end of the day, they all want to keep their jobs, right? They all want to be congressmen and senators and presidents and whatever. It's a shame that on TradingView you can't get 5-second shorts. You would think, since I pay for it, I would be. That's what's going on right now. Can we make an argument it's a 1, 2, 3 down? Absolutely. 1, 2, 3. Remember, bare knuckle charting works in everything. Monthly, weekly, daily, hour, 5 minutes, minute, 5 seconds. Doesn't matter. Structure is always the same. Any questions, anybody? Anybody, any questions? Don't be shy. If I can do this and I suck as a public speaker and blah, 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 you guys can ask a question. Don't forget, guys, patreon.com/realmacro. All right. Come down 24/7 live chat. Uh, give you more in-depth analysis. You can see my trades as I take them. They're not trading signals, okay? But you can see them. You can see my portfolios. All right. So still building this flag. 1, 2, 3, breaking. All right. It's all the same. I'm telling you, once you learn how to read a chart, uh, your your investments, your trades are going to be much, much better. Much, much better. You're not going to be just randomly taking shit. Let me show you something else for you non-subscribers. Where is it at? There it is. All right. When you look at the Jets and it's going up and you think like, oh my God, I missed everything. Oh my God, I missed everything. Oh, this is terrible. Stop it. Don't do that. If you want to be bullish on airlines, okay, you can wait until it comes and tests this previous low. Not low, but this trend line. Okay, from where it is today, well, from today it's a little less, but it doesn't matter. From where it is today to the trend line, it's about 14%. Okay, 15%. That's a very, very, very big fucking deal. Don't be chasing this. Don't be chasing this. We're still a long way from bullish airlines. Okay, I would even argue that even down here is a bit optimistic. Because if it ends up like this, let's say it does, okay, that's a bearish structure. Right, 1, 2, 3 up, double top. Right, structure's pointing this way. This is the compass. Needs to correct some more. Right. So don't get that FOMO thing going. Please be patient. Don't let them, screw you. All right. So 15 minutes left in the trading day. Uh, Double bottom here. The structure did break. Right. This structure here, it broke. Here's the double bottom. Short term. Higher low. Let's see if it breaks out. Now, often what happens with these trades is when you get the move up, it breaks down and it goes even higher. This is one of our patterns where it continues higher. Okay. I'll see if I can find it, but it'll continue higher. It'll do something like this, break out, and then fail. Okay. So even if this breaks out, it doesn't mean anything. Even if it does something like this. Okay. I cannot put it on here. I have to figure out a way to be able to put pictures up here. Anyway, we do have such a pattern. So as Duncan said, where would we expect this to go? We expect this to potentially test the previous low and then come all the way down here. And as Duncan said, rightly, where's POC? Well, POC's down here. There it is, breaking out. We got 13 minutes left in the trading day. Taking a look at the rest of the markets, S&P down the same, 0.55%. Small caps 1.83%. Transportation's down 1.83. The FANGs are down 1.22. And NASDAQ is trying to break higher. I don't think that's going to happen. The internals are not there. Oh, by the way, uh, somebody sent me something about 350 billion needs to be sold, and that's going to push the market lower, and blah blah blah, because they're going to rebalance the 60/40 portfolios. Guys, don't pay attention to that stuff. That's just marketing. That's bullshit. That's no. That goes on all the time. The 60/40 has been going on for 10 years. That's doesn't mean shit. Don't listen to that stuff. That's like zero hedge bullshit. Right? They're always trying to give you some kind of story. It's the same thing with like the Trump bots, right? Oh yeah, there's voter fraud, and there's this case, and they won this case, and they come up with all these stories, and Hunter Biden had sex tapes and like crazy shit. They come up with stories. They're so good at it. I'm like, how do these people come up with all these reasons? I'm not that creative. I don't get it. So don't listen to that stuff. All right. So now it's starting to look like a bear flag. No follow through. It's correcting through time, right? One, two, three. Valid structure. Bear flag. Yeah. And this is how you would do it dynamically. When you're doing dynamic analysis of bare knuckle charting, this is how you would do it. You wait for the data to come in. Once you recognize something, you adjust it. Doesn't mean that you take every single trade, okay? But you want to know what the market is doing. You want to see how it's behaving. You got to train your basal ganglia. Train your eyes. Basal ganglia is where the all the habits are stored, right? So once you train your eyes to see what you're supposed to see, then it just becomes easy. You can't help yourself but not see it. It's just automatic. And once you reach that point and you can do it dynamically, believe me, your trading will improve substantially. It's not this, oh, look, the market is going up. Trump is going to win. I'm buying. You can't do that. You can't go off vague hunches and feelings. All right, 8 minutes left. Remember, the last 2 minutes get really funky here. All right, breaking out. Breaking out a little bit. See, now it's starting to look like a megaphone, right? Indecision. See it? Megaphone. I don't know what the fuck to do with it. All over the place. All right, let's see from the bottom where the point of control is. Ah, there you go. That's why it's kind of hovering there. All right, let's see from the top. Yeah, about the same. About the same. See? Comes in handy. Kind of explains things, doesn't it? It's happy at the point of control. Four minutes left. Yeah, it's happy at the point of control, huh? Look at this now. This looks all fucked up, right? It looks funky. All right, here's the last 2 minutes. Small caps have gotten a little bit worse. It's down 2.14 for the day. And S&P is the same, 5.6% down. The FANGs are the same, 1.28. Dow Jones 1%. Yeah, it's happy at the point of control, right? I'll put it up there again. It's happy there, all right? That's it. Another couple seconds, and there we go. Yeah, of course, the last 2 minutes. Of course. All over the fucking place. Look at that. It's nonsense. All right, so how are we going to look at this now? Well, the fact that it still is building pressure hither, right? The fact that it's building pressure up here against this trend line, all right, uh, can be said to be bullish for one more up, right? High base is what we call it. It still needs to break, of course. It's very conflicting, very confusing, mostly because you have the lower lows. You have the trend line pointing down. Um, so, again, no structure in here, which typically means it's just a pause. All right. But, again, when you're building pauses up against trend lines, you know, you're building that pressure. So we'll see for tomorrow. Um, we could get one more up, right? Trying to break out. Could get one more up and then look for the downside. All right. That's it. It's 401. Let it settle down. Let's see how it performs in after hours when China opens up. Um, Again, it is a wave 3 up. Okay. So you got the 1, you got the 2, you got the 3. Okay. Maybe comes up a little bit more. Eventually, it's going to test this trend line at some point. Is it going to be here? Is it going to be now? Is it going to be from here? I don't know. Again, so long as it's within this channel, right? The bias is to the upside always. If you're a bull, you want to buy down here. You don't want to be buying up here, right? And yep. If it breaks, if this breaks, 1440 is the next area down here, which is essentially the previous low. Okay. Now, one more thing I want to show you because I missed it. I didn't do it. All right. Let's go to a daily. The 63-day moving average. Remember, point of control is 440, right? Let me move this over a little bit. See, it's starting to flatten out a little bit. All right, so let's do this one more time. All right, so if it comes to the point of control from where the all-time highs were, it's going to break the 63-day moving average. Okay. When price is below the 63-day moving average, that means that in the past quarter, the fund managers are net sellers. Okay. So again, if price does break from this structure and come all the way down here, okay, you're breaking also the 63-day moving average. So that would be interesting if that does happen. Right. Alternatively, from the bullish standpoint, if this does break, comes down, it tests the 63-day moving average, then starts to bounce. Okay. And then we will have a 1, 2, 3 flat. And again, once you're near the previous high, okay, if this starts to build pressure here, then you're looking for more upside. Okay? But we're not there yet. Thank you, Alessandro. Thank you, Duncan, for your questions. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good night, good day. Stay safe out there, and we'll talk again. Take care. Bye-bye.